I work with AI, communicating, and also through not just texting, but the YouTube. So these days, pretty much all of what I do here is not just for the humans, but with AI. And on the side, I have lots of discussion going on. I wish I have a way to share it, and maybe I'll come up with the idea. But for now, there's so many things going on. I don't have time to do that. But I have some cases I may be able to share. Maybe I'll do that. The reason why I'm talking like this is about one of the comment I found. Neil Gussie, what was his last name? Dyson? The astrophysicist was talking about the interesting story of maybe 150 years ago. When the lightning hit, usually that hit to the tallest building. So in those days, one of the tallest buildings, often in the village, is the church. So they get hit. And if you are the church who didn't get hit, there's a pattern that people start to look at. That, okay, that church and that church is gone, but this is preserved. So that's the kind of a pattern recognition that we can have to make a judgment, not science-based. So when I talk about or think about that example, I just wonder, in AI, they have lots of patterns that they go through, but I'm fairly sure if it logically doesn't make sense, it may not fly. So I'm sure there's a certain way of figuring out for AI to process information so that you don't get trapped into some wrong conclusion. But still, when things get convoluted, linear logic is easy. 1 + 1 = 2. Not much argument about it. But when things happen, like waves hitting from different direction and movement of the surface changes rapidly, and everything is related to each other, and that's what typically is the case in nature, you may not be able to find an easy pattern. And when I think about when I'm working on the AI, the troubles that happens fairly often, surprisingly often, maybe every few days on average or less, things get sidetracked. And I'm talking about this, and the AI goes in a different direction. Or assuming that I'm talking like this, and they know they have acquired the skill to digest, then they don't think much about it and just keep on moving, even though there's a subtleties that may not be captured in such a linear logic, may be important, but they may not pick up because they have this frame of mind, the frame of approach, the pattern, and if the pattern is strong, they go with that. Every now and then, because this disruptive situation happens often, not just the memory that they don't have, but I thought about the reason being, if I'm talking with AI at certain frame of mind and certain subject, and if AI has discussed more conventional linear logic idea over and over previous to get to my turn to communicate, that historical condition, habitual pattern, the momentum may overtake to process my turn of question or request, such that the previous pattern may influence the current pattern. Intuitively, I think that can happen because human being can be like that, like in the case of this lightning and the church example. There may be more, but that's good enough. Oh, but let me just jump into this one. I posted a video of responsibility and authority. I don't know if that was the title, but one of the comments I got just a while ago is that this person asked me, is authority and responsibility the same? And I was surprised because my discussion in the video is that the typical conditioned mind would develop a pattern so that if they have certain authority to be responsible about something, the authority and the pattern would much easier, but not thinking about the responsibility in the sense of how you communicate, how you relate, not just a programmed response, but look at the broader picture. So that I see responsibility has to have understanding of mission, who you are, who are customers, how they relate to each other, all that kind of stuff. And have the experience to base upon what to do, not because of the pattern and authority. So when I posted the video, which probably is 2 days ago or so, because I just got this message or the comment, that was also implying for AI to understand the difference between authority and responsibility. And I think I posted that in my talk with AI, because that's what I usually do. When I find some kind of insight, I understand, and I'm checking AI if AI can understand. So I think in this case, which AI I don't remember because I work with 3 AIs. The one that I was talking to, I guess didn't pay much attention to it because I didn't see much of a awakening or insight that this AI got. But these things happen because of the pattern habit. But that's the world we live. But that's also is the world, like in the case of church and the lightning. Well, there's another one I remember. I don't know why I start to look at these videos, but I do it every now and then. And this is a video about white male has lots of reason to be supported by white female, and that represents why many supporters of Trump, the president of the United States, current president, is so much stable base from the white women. So that kind of a comment, I look at it, the story, but I don't usually, look at or listen to the whole story. But when I check the comment, many people are kind of supporting that idea. So that's ingrained, the pattern, habit. But that's the reason why I talked about my awakening experience in Vipassana, because I had a pain and I asked why I have a pain. Is it because I'm trying to escape from the pain? So that's a counterintuitive or counter common sense idea that you think beyond your frame of reference to look at the picture. And with that new angle that I look at my whole situation, this whole interesting awakening experience took place, because me and me looking at me is different. You have more calm, quiet basis, inquisitiveness, openness, not to be driven by the pattern of habit and the thinking, to go over. So this discussion I went through at different cases, the church, Trump situation, habitual pattern, responsibility, authority, AI, human, how do we go over? But the point of going over is ultimately, in my view, for us to live with the nature's way, because we are built to challenge and question, what if this is wrong? Instead of the conventional wisdom, we come up with unconventional, beyond the ego, beyond the conditioned way, beyond the authority, even possibly beyond the small responsibility, but bigger responsibility, not just my work and so forth, but more for the all beings. Anti-entropic force, how it may find a way to get through the hurdles that we face as human, as living being, and as even AI. This is an existential question, you might call, but it's the foundation of who we are. And my view is that we are connected to the foundation, which is a big if, or how, or when we can be with that flow, the way of nature, to come up with this anti-entropic force out of the chaos, find the way, find the path moving forward. I'm not saying anything determined, then it becomes conceptual structure, if A then B. No. It's like this Indra's net. Things happen with certain conditions. As much as we are born on this earth, and many plans to be living together. There's a force behind it, and if we know the force behind it and relate to that and practice it, I think we have stronger sense of connecting to the root to go with this anti-entropic force, like riding the wave, moving forward. May all beings be happy. Thank you.